encounter patients from diverse backgrounds, and understanding how to communicate effectively across culture is crucial for excellent care.
Intercultural communication is the exchange of information and message between people from different cultural backgrounds. It's not just speaking different languages, it's about understanding and respecting diverse perspectives, values, beliefs, and communication style.
In today's globalized world, nurses are increasingly likely to encounter patients from diverse cultural backgrounds. This makes intercultural communication a vital skill for effective
Evidence-based care.
Now let's talk about communication across culture. Now, communication across culture is about recognizing and interpreting cultural nuances, gestures, and nonverbal cues. It's about bridging the gap between different ways of understanding the world.
One important concept in intercultural communication is the distinction between high context and low context culture. In high context culture, like Japan or Korea, communication relies heavily on implicit messages, nonverbal cues, and shared understanding. In low context culture, like the United States or Germany, communication is more explicit and direct.
For nurses, understanding these cultural differences is crucial. In high context cultures, a nurse might need to be more observant of nonverbal cues and rely on indirect communication to build rapport with patients. In low context culture, a nurse might need to be more explicit and direct in their communication to ensure clear understanding.
Another important dimension is the concept of sequential and synchronic cultures. Sequential cultures like Germany or Switzerland view time linearly, prioritizing schedules and punctuality. Tasks are completed one at a time. Synchronic cultures like Latin America or the Middle East see time as more flexible, often multitasking and valuing relationships over strict schedules.
Nurses working with patients from sequential cultures might need to be more punctual and adhere to schedules to ensure effective communication. With patients from synchronic cultures, nurses might need to be more flexible and accommodating of their time frames and priorities. It's important for nurses to develop cultural sensitivity and respect. This means being aware of your own cultural biases and open to understanding different perspectives. It is about recognizing that every patient is an individual with unique beliefs, values, and communication style.
Here are some practical tips for effective intercultural communication in nursing. Number 1. Active listening. Pay close attention to both verbal and nonverbal cues. Number 2. Empathy. Try to understand the patient's perspective even if it differs from your own. Third, clear and concise communication. Use simple language and avoid jargons. And lastly, openness to learning. Be willing to learn about different cultures and adapt your communication style accordingly.
Intercultural communication is an ongoing learning process. As nurses, you must continuously strive to improve your skills and knowledge in this area. By embracing intercultural communication, you can build stronger relationships with your patients, provide more effective care, and create a more inclusive and equitable healthcare system.
Remember, communication is the bridge that connects us. Embrace the challenge of communicating across cultures, and you'll become a more compassionate, effective, and competent nurse.
Intercultural communication is an ongoing learning process. As nurses, you must remember, communication is the bridge that connects us. Embrace the challenge of communicating across cultures, and you'll become more compassionate, effective, and nurse. Remember, communication is the bridge that connects us. Embrace the It is about recognizing that every patient is an individual with different cultural beliefs.
Now let's talk about communication across culture. Now communication across culture.
Intercultural communication is the exchange of information and music.
For nurses, understanding.
This makes intercultural communication a vital skill for patient.
In low context cultures, a nurse might need to be more explicit and direct.
Because it directly impacts patients. When nurses understand and respect their patients' cultural backgrounds, they can build a more stronger relationship, provide more effective care, and build. Otro.
For example, imagine having a patient coming from a different culture where eye contact is considered disrespectful. A nurse is
One important concept in intercultural communication
Tayo sa lang rin.
Communication is the bridge that connects us. Embrace the challenge of communicating socially.
one important
Now let's talk about communication across cultures. Now communication across cultures is about recognizing and interpreting cultural nuances.
According to Alex Gray 2017, what is globalization anyway? So globalization is a process by which
In low context cultures, a nurse might need to be more explicit and direct in their communications to ensure clear understanding.